In today's market, a company's financial health is completely tied to how well its supply chain runs. So today, we're going to dive into the really powerful synergy you get when you integrate cloud accounting with supply chain management. We'll break down the key advantages that make this an absolute game changer for any modern business.
So here's our game plan. First, we're going to get a handle on what this SCM integration thing really is. Then we'll jump into the three big advantages: getting access to real-time data, helping your teams collaborate way better, and of course, achieving some serious cost savings. Then we'll wrap it all up by looking at why this is just so important strategically.
Okay, let's get into it. Before we can really talk about all the good stuff, the advantages, we need to be crystal clear on what we mean by integrating these systems. What does connecting your financial world with your operational world actually look like? At its heart, what we're talking about is building a kind of digital bridge. It connects the money side of the business, your financial systems, with the physical side, getting materials, moving things around, and making stuff. The whole point is to get these two worlds, which are usually pretty separate, to speak the same language instantly, all thanks to the cloud. And when you build that bridge, four really important things start to happen. You can share data in real time, which leads to much better coordination, tighter control over costs, and a huge boost in overall efficiency. And listen, these aren't just buzzwords. These are real, tangible improvements you'll see across the entire supply chain.
All right, let's talk about the first huge win here: real-time data. This is all about the power you get from instant financial updates and how that lets a business be so much more responsive and quick on its feet.
So what do we actually mean by real-time data? Well, it means that the second something happens in your supply chain, a customer buys something, you order new materials, a shipment goes out, your financial books are updated instantly, automatically. There's zero lag. Your books become a perfect, up-to-the-second mirror of what's actually happening in your business.
So how does this magic actually happen? Well, sales and expenses get recorded automatically. That means you can say goodbye to that slow, painful, and honestly error-prone process of someone typing everything in by hand. And because both your income and your costs are logged right away, you can figure out your profit on any given transaction instantly. That's a level of financial clarity most businesses only dream of.
Let's make this super simple. Imagine a bakery that sells cupcakes online. A customer clicks buy. In that instant, the cloud system logs the sale, automatically deducts the cost of the flour and sugar from inventory, and calculates the exact profit from that one sale. You don't have to wait for an end-of-day report, right then and there.
And this is the real payoff, right? Management isn't flying blind anymore, making decisions based on data from last week or last month. Instead, they have a constantly accurate, up-to-the-minute picture of the company's financial health. And that means they can make faster, smarter, and way more informed decisions.
Okay, moving on to our second big advantage. We're talking about enhanced collaboration. This one is all about unifying your teams and tearing down those walls between departments that can really slow a company down.
So, enhanced collaboration. What's that look like in the real world? It's a system where your accountant, your supply chain manager, and even the CEO can all look at and work on the exact same financial data at the exact same time, no matter where they are. This creates a single source of truth for the entire company. No more arguments about whose numbers are right.
And you get this because all the work happens in one central place. Everyone's working together on the same live data. This means if there is an error, it can be spotted and fixed on the spot. It completely gets rid of that old, awful process of emailing spreadsheets back and forth and trying to figure out who has the latest version. We've all been there, right?
Here's a perfect practical example. Imagine an accountant is working from home and spots an expense that's been categorized wrong. Instead of firing off an email that might get buried, they just leave a comment right on that transaction in the system. The business owner gets a notification instantly and can fix it right then and there. It's fast, it's transparent, and it's all tracked. So the result is pretty obvious. You get much smoother teamwork and coordination. All that confusion and miscommunication that happens because of different file versions or email delays, it just disappears. It leads to a workflow that's just so much more efficient and a lot less frustrating for everyone involved.
All right, on to our third and final advantage, cost efficiency. This is where we see the direct hit to the company's bottom line, in a good way, by cutting down on all those financial and operational overheads.
When we talk about cost efficiency here, it really boils down to reducing two major types of expenses. The first is that big upfront cost of buying servers and software. The second is the money you're constantly spending to maintain all that stuff. You're basically shifting that whole IT headache from your company over to the cloud service provider.
Let's break down exactly how you save money. First off, you no longer have to buy and maintain those expensive servers in your office. Second, you don't need a huge IT team just to keep the accounting software running. And third, you move to a flexible subscription model where you just pay for what you use. It can scale up or down as your business changes.
Think about a consulting firm. By moving to a cloud platform, they completely avoid that massive upfront check they'd have to write for server hardware. They also get to skip the yearly fees and the hassle of software upgrades because the cloud provider takes care of all that behind the scenes. It just lowers their operating costs and makes them a much leaner, more agile business.
So this gives you this amazing 2-for-1 benefit. First, your overall operating costs go down, which means more profit, and second, you get incredible scalability. Your accounting system can grow with you when you're booming or shrink if you have a slow period, all without the financial pain of being stuck with hardware you don't need.
Okay, so let's tie all of this together. We're going to bring these 3 big advantages into a final summary and conclusion to really understand the total strategic value of doing this.
This table pretty much sums it all up, nice and neat. Real-time data gives you those instant financial updates. Enhanced collaboration means you get seamless teamwork, no matter where people are. And cost efficiency directly translates to lower IT and software costs. You can see how each advantage delivers a really clear, powerful benefit to the business.
So, to wrap it all up, integrating cloud accounting with your supply chain management is so much more than just a tech upgrade. It's really a strategic necessity for any business that wants to seriously compete today. And that leaves us with one final really important question to think about. In a global market that's getting more connected and faster every single day, can any modern supply chain really afford not to have this kind of integrated, real-time financial intelligence?